You don't enjoy the process. You don't enjoy the work, but the results at the end of the day is what you're shooting for. Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Battle Ready Show. For those of you who don't know yet, my name is Byron Ovenstone. I am the founder of Battle Ready Fit. Today, we're talking about the climb and why it's actually more important than the destination. All too often, we get wrapped up in the whole like, oh, I want the result, but when we don't fall in love with the process. And unfortunately, if you don't love the process, the results very seldom come because you don't do the work that's going to require you to get to that result at the end of the day. The best kind of story I can think about this is I grew up in South Africa, right? And if you've never been or you don't know a whole hell of a lot about South Africa, it's a pretty hard place. Like we're just built different out there. It was nothing for our coaches to talk about like stamping on people's throats and things like that. Like win at all costs. It doesn't fucking matter. If you don't win on Monday, you're going to hate life because we're going to kick your ass. So it's like you get to a point where you're so results driven and you're so determined to win that you just eat shit sandwiches for 6 days a week so that on a Saturday you can turn up and stamp on some throats so that on Monday you don't have to eat a bigger shit sandwich. You don't enjoy the process. You don't enjoy the work, but the results at the end of the day is what you're shooting for. If you don't enjoy the work, that result, and there's like a paradox here, right? Where you can lead with fear, like what our coaches used to do to us as a youngster. Like, hey man, if you don't win on Saturday, I'm going to fuck you up on Monday. And you're like, shit, okay. So you do the work, not because you want to, but because you have to. Because, hey man, if I don't hit 1,000 balls this week, if I don't do this, that, and the other, there's a probability that on Saturday when I turn up, we're not going to win. And on Saturday, if we don't win, we get our asses handed to us on Monday. And it was literally very common knowledge that if you didn't win on Saturday, roll on Monday, there was a high probability most of you were going to vomit in one way or another because we were going to kick your ass until such time as you knew that you fucked up on Saturday. Like that's negative reinforcement, right? It's not exactly like, oh, I'm desperate to win because I want to win. No, I'm desperate to win because I don't want to get fucked up on Monday. But then there's also the other side of that. Like, let's say you have goals, dreams, aspirations. Like circling back a couple of weeks ago, I told you about the story around being a sportsman, being paid, screwing it all up, having to hit the reset button, that process, getting to a point where it's like, okay, cool, now killed thousands of birds, got paid, and we're now in a position where we can become a financial consultant. Like, okay, wicked. So I'm at university. I'm doing all the stuff that I need to do. I've reverse engineered this process. Yeah, I fucked up and my calculations were off. So I had to sleep in a car for a while. Then I had to sleep in an office for a little bit longer. Forced to not eat for periods of time because I just couldn't afford the food. But process driven, like, hey man, I want to become a financial consultant. I'm okay with eating shit sandwiches today because I know the payday on the back of it is obscene. And in all honesty, I didn't even know how much financial consultants made, but I knew it was more money than I had ever made before. When I actually got into the space, I was like, oh fuck, people are getting paid like $5,000 a day to do this shit. Like that's good money. 25 grand a week, sign me up. I never got to that kind of level, but I wasn't far off of it. And you get to a point where it's like, okay, man, I want that. That's the lifestyle I want. If that means I have to sleep in a car today, if that means I have to sleep in an office today, if that means I don't eat today, I'm okay with it because I know that I'm sacrificing today for a better future. I'm sacrificing today so that ultimately I can land that consulting gig. I can get where I want to go. I can have the penthouse. I can have the fast cars. I can have all the cool shit that I want to have and all the cool shit that I think, or at the time I thought would buy me happiness. Soon found out that it didn't buy me happiness. But in that moment, I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to have all this cool shit. Life's going to be awesome. So you sacrifice today, you do what's necessary today, you go to university, you function on little sleep, you function on no food, you drink some water, you sleep in a fucking car. Because the end result is what matters. The same shit applies to your fitness, your nutrition, your mindset, your business, and everything in between. Like I said on the last episode, I don't wake up excited at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. I'm not wired that way. But I know it's a necessary evil for me to be the best performing person that I can be for that day. I don't like meal prepping. To be honest, I don't even have the fucking time to meal prep, but I make the time and I do it anyway. Why? Because the result on the back of it is more important to me than the sacrifice of today. I would much rather sit in front of Netflix or sit in front of a fucking PlayStation and play 24 hours a day of games and eat a tray of donuts and then eat 22 gallons of ice cream and then wash it down with some pizza and just be a fucking fat fuck. Like, that would be easier. But hey, bro, I also want to have a garage full of cars like fucking Andy Frisella. Am I going to get that if I'm sitting on my ass watching TV and fucking around? Probably not. So, prepared to be sacrificing today so that ultimately that goal that I have and the vision that I have for myself will come true. If I'm sitting on the sofa just being a shitty human being and lazy as fuck, that outcome and that vision and that mission and that goal that I have is not going to happen, because those kind of things don't just fall in your lap. And if you've played any kind of sport, you understand this. You fuck around on the week, come Saturday, you're not winning. It takes the fucking preparation. It takes the work. It takes doing a bunch of shit you don't want to do. Did I want to hit 1,000 balls a day? Hell no. Do you know how long it takes to hit 1,000 balls a day? A fucking long time. And it's boring. Practicing the same shot. Okay, cool. Shoulders are here. Back is here. Roll the shoulder back. Okay, cool. Step out. Boom, boom, boom. Follow the sequence. Oh, fuck. I turned my hands a little bit. Shit. Okay, do it again. Boom. Perfect. Now I got to replicate that 999 more fucking times. You kidding me? 14 years old. Do you think that's an enjoyable way to spend your fucking Tuesday afternoon? Hell no. But on Saturday, I wanted to fucking win. And at the time, my goal was also to represent my country, get paid obscene amounts of money to play sports. So it was a necessary evil. Today, everyone's far too interested in being Instagram famous, YouTube famous, fucking whatever else the path of least resistance is, where they don't even have to do the work. Like, without shit talking my son, but I'm going to shit talk my son in the process anyway. He wants to be a YouTube sensation, right? Hey, Dad, I want to be this YouTuber. Hey, man, what you going to do on YouTube? I know, I'm just going to record some shit. I tell you what, bro, record a video every day for a month. And if you can do that, then we'll set you up a YouTube channel. Dude lasted 4 days. Why? Because it's not fun. It's not glamorous. We like the outcome. He wants to be rich and fucking famous on Instagram or on YouTube, but he doesn't want to do the work that it's going to take to become rich and famous on YouTube and Instagram. The same applies with your abs, the same applies with your business, the same applies with everything in between, your relationships, etc. If you're not prepared to do the fucking work and sacrifice today, don't assume you deserve the outcome. Because even if you do the fucking work today and tomorrow and every day for the next 10 years, the outcome is not guaranteed. It didn't matter if I hit 1,000 balls every day for 5 days. On Saturday, someone could have just been slightly better than me and had a moment of brilliance before I had my moments of brilliance, and bang, we get fucked. We lose, and now I hit 5,000 balls that week for quote-unquote no reason. Of course there was a reason, but at the same time, like, I didn't get a guaranteed result. Just because I hit 5,000 balls doesn't mean we won on Saturday. Just because I threw 5,000 throws doesn't mean we won on Saturday. But that was a necessary evil to increase the odds of winning. Me sitting on the sofa doesn't increase the odds of winning. And this is the mindset that you guys have got to get into. You got to get to a point where, like, I'm okay with eating shit sandwiches and doing what needs to be done today to ultimately get where I want to go. I didn't want to kill fucking thousands of birds. But I wanted to come to the US, drive some trucks, make a boatload of money, get paid to see the country, go back to the UK, and be able to afford a degree and the visas and everything in between. And this all circles back to having clarity in terms of your vision, your mission, your purpose, etc. Like, I was crystal clear. Byron went from a sportsman to Byron's going to be the CEO. And I think I've said this on a previous episode with one of my colleagues, where I said I had that like fat cat CEO mindset. And that's who I created. I created the fat CEO. I was fat as fuck, nearly 300 pounds. But I saw myself as the fat cat, making big money, living in the penthouse, having a fucking golf simulator in my living room, having the cinema and all that cool shit in my apartment. Yeah, it's cool. But in order to have that, there's a process that you have to follow. You have to build up a reputation. It took me fucking 5 years of grinding in that space. I had over 300 applications and interviews before I landed my first role, because I was foreign, because I wasn't smart enough, blah, 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 blah. I didn't have all the skill sets. So every single interview was an opportunity to get better. Hey man, do you know how to code on Excel? No, I don't. You can't have this job. You need to know how to code on Excel. Fuck. Okay. So I started learning how to code on Excel. And then the next interview, hey man, do you know how to write macros? No. Fuck. Can't have the job. Okay. I need to know how to make macros. So you learn macros, coding, blah, blah, blah. And the laundry list gets longer and longer of the shit sandwiches that you got to eat before you finally land your first consulting role and make $150 a day. And you're fucking excited. Yes, I made a fucking job. I got this opportunity. I'm making $150 a day. Until you realize that there's other fuckers making $5,000 a day and they make you look poor. And you're like, shit, okay, well, I want that. And then you reverse engineer that process and you eat more shit sandwiches and you get there. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's not as cool as it made out to be. So the climb is always better than the destination anyway. Any of you that have ever won anything, it's pretty short-lived. Like you're ecstatic, you're excited, you're like, fuck yeah, we won. And then what? A day later, you've already forgotten and you're like, okay, what next? What now? If you don't love the process, you don't go back to work. And then inevitably what happens, you have this peak and then you hit a huge descent. And then you're fucking ground zero again. And then you do some dumb shit to undo all of the work that you did for a period of time. And then it's this reset button. Oh, okay, let me try and find my new thing. And then you build out that process. And then you win and you're like, oh, it wasn't as cool as I thought. Driving an Audi R8 or a Lamborghini is not as cool as you think. When you've done it 10 times, it's another fucking car that gets you from A to B. Everyone else thinks it's cool because they don't have a fucking Lamborghini or an Audi R8. But once you've done it a few times, bro, it's a fucking car. It gets me from A to B. It looks gangster, but when you're inside it, yeah, it's a bit of a spaceship. The car I have outside is exactly the same. It's not an Audi R8, it's not a Lamborghini. It gets me from A to B and it looks a little bit like a spaceship. Cool. So you get process driven. You fall in love with the process. And then the outcome is inevitable anyway. But if you don't love what you're doing today and you're not obsessed with what you're doing today, there is 0% chance the outcome that you're shooting for is going to happen. You will not get abs until such time as you decide that you want abs. You are crystal clear in terms of the process of getting abs, the necessary evils, the sacrifices that you have to make. You have to identify the shit you do today that's like holding you back from getting abs. Commit to doing less of that and more of the stuff that gets you abs, and then fall in love with that fucking process and do it for a period of time. If you're 60 pounds overweight, don't come to me or give me a phone call and say, Byron, I want abs in 60 days. I'm going to say, fuck you, it's not possible, because you're going to screw yourself up. You're going to do damage to your metabolism, your bone density, your testosterone levels, and everything else in between. There is no quick fix here. Fall in love with the process. Decide, hey man, I'm okay with getting abs in 18 months from today. Now we can do it in a way where we're going to sustain muscle mass, build everything up, get you dialed in, and do it in a way where you're not crash dieting or crash processing. And then you know what happens? You get the abs and you fucking keep the abs. But you crash diet because you want a quick fix, a quick result. No such luck, pal. You'll get those abs, you'll lose them just as quick as you got them. Because you're not process driven, you're results driven. And then you'll realize having abs is cool, but it's not that cool. Like, yeah, you take your shirt off at the beach and it's cool, but it's not that cool. Once someone sees you with abs, they're like, oh, cool, you've got abs. Okay, moving on. It has to be bigger than you hoping that someone's going to identify you as someone who has abs. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be in here. Hey, man, when I have abs, this is how I show up. This is what I do. This is what's good. This is what's even better. I'm a better father, better husband, better relationships. I make more money, etc. Now, having abs is part of the process to the outcome that you're searching for. And then again, you just fold it into your daily routine. But if you're not process driven, good luck. So get out of your own way. Here's a whole bunch of reasons why you don't need to do the shit you want to do, or you don't need to do the shit you don't want to do, But at the same time, there's even more reasons why you do need to do it. The things that you're scared of, the things that you don't want to do, there's a reason you're scared and you don't want to do them. Because you know deep down somewhere that those are the things you really have to do. And those are the things that once you overcome, you'll ultimately get where you want to go. I didn't want to kill 1,000 fucking birds. more than 1,000 birds, to be fair. I don't want to kill those things. But at the same time, I wanted to be a financial consultant. And then when I became a financial consultant, I realized it's not what it's meant to be. What is next? Oh, I want to do this. I want to move to the US. How am I going to do it? Oh shit, the project all of a sudden came out of nowhere. When you get clear in your vision, like shit just gets out of the way and in the way on purpose. But until such time as you have that vision, it's crazy, man. It's just fucking noise. And you just get pushed and pulled in every single direction. But when you're clear and you understand what you want, things just fall in alignment and you just keep doing the work and more shit just falls into alignment. So cut the crap, cut the noise, stop making excuses for why you can't be fit, why you can't be healthy, why you can't be a better father, a better husband. You're obligated to be all those things and more. And the more you fight the process, the more you're going to be a disappointment, not only to yourself, but everyone else around you. And they might not say it to your face and they think that that's love, but it's not love. Like, love's not lies. If you're a shit person, you should be told that. You should be told where you're dropping the ball. Like, your wife didn't marry you to be in a fucking loveless relationship where she has an extra child and she's having to fucking fend for herself and pay the bills and protect the family, etc. Like, it's give and take. You need to be that man. Get out of your own way. It starts with falling in love with the process. It starts with becoming process driven. Just like in consulting. You want to be a good consultant, just understand processes and systems and help banks or whoever you're consulting understand their processes and their systems and make it better every day. This is how we're going to be better tomorrow. This is how we're going to be better the next day. This is how we're going to be there the next day. And it's a wrap. Process focused, not result focused. Because when you get that result, you'll see it's not as exciting as the process and the journey that you took to get there. I hope you guys liked today's episode. We'll catch you guys next time. Cheers for now.